All right, so now down to brass tacks. What you're really interested in doing with this slingshot is shooting it. But shooting a projectile down range without accuracy is pointless. Slingshots are capable of profound accuracy, and it takes a couple of foundational skills to do well. Now, this is not to say that it's difficult, but it does require a bit of mastery. And I'm going to show you a couple of simple steps. The projectile always goes on the fuzzy side of the leather pouch. The smooth side of the pouch, or the hide side, it goes towards your fingers. The little ears on the outside of the bands, those go to the outside. So make sure your bands aren't twisted between shots. Next, you see this lanyard here. Nope, this is not for attaching it to your belt. This is to go around your wrist. The reason being is some Newtonian physics. If you were to draw this slingshot back and hold the bands under tension and release the slingshot frame, you've got a chunk of plastic coming back at your face. The lanyard is for safety. Please use your lanyard. And finally, always wear safety glasses. All right, so let's get right down to it. First, we want to know what your eye dominance is. If you shoot a bow and you hold the bow in your left hand, that's considered a right-hand bow. That means you are right eye dominant. You do the same thing with your slingshot. Likewise, if you're left eye dominant, you'd want to hold the slingshot in your right hand, making you a left-handed shooter. Similar to archery, in fact, the same as archery. Next, this slingshot is designed to be held sideways. And the way that you hold the frame is your forefinger wraps around the top prong and your thumb braces. Now, some folks prefer a full pinch grip. If your hand's large enough, that works really well too. Either way works. One thing we want to pay attention to is the orientation of the fork to our target. We're going to imagine that our target face is over here to my right. Similar to archery, especially Olympic style archery, we're going to hold ourselves 90 degrees to the target. Install the lanyard. Hold the slingshot frame out. We want to make sure that slingshot frame is parallel to the target face. What we don't want to see happen is under full draw, pushing a fork forward or back. That's fundamentally going to make one band retract more than the other. It's going to throw your shot. So keeping the slingshot square to the target face and this hand rock solid. That's all you need to worry about there. The rest of the magic happens with the release. Just like archery or a clean trigger press in firearms, a clean release is key to consistent accuracy. Can't emphasize that enough. So there's a couple of nuances here that we want to pay attention to with the release. You've been supplied with 10 powder balls and 10 pieces of 3/8 steel ball ammo. I suggest you start with the powder balls as a projectile if you don't have much slingshot experience. The reason being, these explode upon impact with a nice puff of white chalk, but if you were to happen to shoot the tip of your slingshot fork, there's not going to be any damage done. Now, we do notice that there's a centering hole in the pouch. This is to help you reference where to put the projectile. With the 3/8 inch diameter projectiles, it fits quite nicely inside the pouch. And here's another warning to you, don't shoot rocks. This slingshot band is not designed to shoot rocks. We do stock those. As you come under tension, your first instinct will be to grip in front of the projectile in order to get a better purchase on it. This is going to cause two potential problems, and they both need to be remedied. If you hold the pouch in front of the projectile, you fundamentally got the projectile behind the bone structure of your forefinger. Upon release, the projectile has to rise up over the bone structure before it starts traveling in a straight line. This can cause some inconsistency. So to get around this, a straight thumb is key. So you rest the projectile on your top of your forefinger and pinch the edges, not in front of the projectile, but the edges. And if you'll notice here, if I pinch in front of the projectile and start coming under tension, I fundamentally made my bands a different length. We can see that they don't line up here. If I keep my thumb straight and pinch only the edge of the projectile, as I draw back, it stays consistent all the way through the draw cycle. The release is nothing more than letting it slip from your fingers. I've heard an analogy that you're simply trying to let a butterfly go. It should surprise you, just like a good clean trigger press. Release is everything. Next, you want to